good fun. It's good fun. I am
Do you live by
getting very
yourself?
tired now. But do I know? I don't. I'm currently chilling with the fam.
Nice.
We're having a good old time. Uh, there is the option to move out. Because I got a lot of my friends who live up in London, and they're always like, James, come up. I will have a we'll have a riot. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not ready quite yet for a riot. I'm quite happy with the fam. I know a few friends locally. Go and meet up with them, and I can get what I want to get done from here without massive expenditure. The big thing about London is that it's really pricey, especially where my friends like to hang around. And I'm not a big fan of spending money, not unless it's necessary.
Either.
So it's things I have to take account for, video production costs and so on. That's the sort of things that
Video
I will take
production
into account.
costs? Does that run into
Yeah.
dozens of dollars, I can imagine.
Oh, it's a fair bit, especially when it's a long video. That's when it starts to stack up.
Really?
Because you
You hire an editor?
Yeah, well, I have multiple editors. I work with multiple editors, so
okay.
it's kind of like this stylistic thing. Basically, I have editors take different segments, and it gives it a bit more variety. It also makes it quite efficient. So it's a nice combo. Some people don't like it, but a lot of people seem to warm to it and get into it and appreciate it. And as said, a lot of people also just tend to listen to the audios and probably don't notice anyway. But it's a nice visual aid for those who want something there to represent it. And if they want to pay a bit more active attention, then there's reward for doing so. So I like to think that you cover both grounds. So I mean, that's a bit off piece from what we were discussing, but
you're making a smart move living at home with where you are. You're in your early 20s, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 23. I'm quite
that's early 20s. Like a lot of people, the second they started making money online, at least back when Woody and I were getting started, after BlameTruth started, it was like, all right, I'm out. I'm fucking 19 and I'm making just enough money to get an apartment. I'm piecing. It was like
at 20 years old. Yeah. I was at the house. Yep.
Really? Yeah, a lot of people did that. And then they realized later, oh, fuck. Damn, I'm just kind of hemorrhaging money that I could otherwise be socking away. And so very smart of you to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm quite a cautious person. I kind of expect the worst preparation, zombie apocalypse. And
we're kind of close.
Yeah. I like the approach. It generally treats me well, and if I feel like I need to do something to let off some steam, then the option's there. And I have one of my friends who's James Marriott, and he does very well, especially like with the sort of videos he does, because quite short, but you can get a lot of ads on them, so it's good money. But he spends it so quickly, and especially living up in London, I think a lot of the my friends up in London do that, and I respect it, but at the same time, it's just I just feel that I'm a bit more of a long-term planner. And although I respect their confidence and it makes sense in many ways, the fact that they are so incredibly talented, they'll probably be set for life regardless. I also want to take into account the instance that actually this doesn't quite work out and I don't make as much as I plan, and in the end it all falls down, because there's a lot of hurdles, especially for the content that I make. Recently there's been a wave of smaller commentators and even medium-sized commentators on 200,000-300,000 subscribers having their channels just fully demonetized. And and YouTube is very unpredictable, particularly for commentators, because we so much Shane Dawson, all the egregious shit he said, and many of these guys, notorious individuals who we've spoken about, have their channels fully monetized. But if you speak about them, then YouTube will pull you up. And I don't know exactly what's going on.
You're going after one of the making sacred cows.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people saying it might just be a glitch, which it might just be, but at the same time I'm also kind of suspicious because it's hit very specific creators currently who are rather outspoken and opinionated, though it did also hit another podcaster channel. So I mean, I can't say for certain. It may well be a glitch, but it also kind of makes me a bit cagey about what's around the corner with YouTube. You never know exactly what's going to happen, and therefore, for me, it's I don't really want to get complacent and say, "Oh yeah, this is a tight ship. You know, we got this sorted," because I never feel like that. The moment I feel like that is probably the moment that something does actually go wrong.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it happened to me, and he was a huge commentator.
Happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we've had him on the show. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Mediker.
Mr. Mediker.
Yeah. He's
he makes similar kind of videos to
he
to
does,
what James does. It's like an expose.
Yeah.
He does it a little more
he's a big old nihilist, he is, and you can definitely tell. He's kind of he's not the sort of YouTube guy that people that they're gonna warm to at corporate, basically.
I gotcha.
And unfortunately, that's what they decided with his channel, and it's all rather suspect what happens with a lot of the smaller commentators in particular, and how deep that can go, and how far they're willing to go. For me, I there's a part of me that hopes that because my mild mannered nature and my rather hopefully kind of softly spoken approach to a lot of this stuff, that I shouldn't necessarily feel threatened, but I still do, because YouTube unpredictable.
Yeah.
They often don't see the nuance, and they've proven that more than enough. So I feel that it's difficult sometimes to ever feel completely safe, which is why I tend to kind of be quite frugal with expenditure.
That's very
yeah.
smart. Yeah. Especially at your age right now, it's incredibly smart, because I'm not sure about Taylor, but I tend to go on like big, spendy. Like if I have a good day on stream, or I get a YouTube sponsor or something, I'm like, oh shit, I
spent $30 on didgeridoo.
Okay, well, that's the question. But yeah, sometimes I'll just buy some random stuff, and I know I shouldn't, but it's that like quick dopamine. It's like I don't smoke cigarettes, or I don't drink anymore, so I'm like, I'm buying a Halloween shirt. I'm buying it.
It'll make me happy for a little bit.
It'll make me happy for like 10 minutes, and so yeah, it's very good. It's a very good mindset to have at 23, though, especially because I'm 31 and I'm still buying stupid shit. I thought about buying these big, stupid, like 80s sci-fi sunglasses. I fucking want them.
It is embarrassing for me to scroll through my Amazon order history. It's like, what are you doing? Let me see what kind of shit I bought off Amazon recently.
I think that's the case for me, though. Personally, it's just the fact that I do have a lot of self-control, because I think without the self-control, I would actually be insane. And I probably go completely off the other end, because there's kind of like this divide between what I kind of, how I've kind of just developed myself into being, and what sort of temptations that I often kind of fight against, or I fought against in the past. Everything seems rather under control and under wraps now, but at the same time, I know that there were times in the past where I would just fucking go off the rails with crap, and so it felt necessary, particularly when you're becoming a commentator who kind of like builds his reputation off being somewhat composed. So it fell into line with the persona, and I learned a lot from my parents in a way, my dad in particular, who was always very he was very diligent, and he's one of those blokes who's kind of doesn't necessarily come across as too intelligent, but he is really, really intelligent. He knows what he's doing, and he always has a plan for things ahead of time, and that's why I admire a lot about him. He's he's just something. He's just switched on to some greater level of understanding of human nature, and even though he's kind of like your classic dad who's just a bit out of touch and as a few views that you think bit outdated, but at the same time he's a fucking genius, and he's so bloody sharp, and he's in his 60s now, and he's still going incredibly strong, and I doubt he'll be
Your dad's in his 60s?
Yeah.
You have some like way older siblings?
Yeah, no, my parents quite old. I'm the oldest sibling. I actually have a younger brother. And he's let me just be certain here. He is 15. I'm pretty certain he's 15. I tend to forget because he's a curious old chap, my brother. He's a curious chap.
Your dad's a curious chap having kids at 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a
powerful.
That's the thing. That's my dad. He's just.
That's my dad. Quality loads.
He just he is. I mean, it's true. It's true. You can't deny him. My daddy is just an absolute machine. There's no real other way to put it. He just does what he wants, and he knows what he wants, and he goes and does it, and he's happy with it. And he's kind of in that sort of niche where he's just kind of chilling, and he just kind of realized that life is a thing that happens, and so he's just kind of going with it, and that's what I respect about him.
Yeah, that's a good mindset though, and
yeah,
it's a very good mindset. My mom is similar to your dad in the sense that she prepares for the worst all the time, but not. I mean, I make it sound like she's a doomsday prepper, and I'm not trying to make it that way either. But she kind of is a doomsday prepper. Like your dad sounds like a nice balance, whereas my mom thinks that if it rains, like the world's ending or something like that. She'll over prepare to the point where she doesn't have fun. She won't allow herself to have fun, or she'll overstock. She'll hoard cans of green beans or something, because like she's the type that like when Corona first struck the US, she would be the one going and buying up like $5,000 worth of toilet paper and paper towels.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
She's always gonna have it.
Yeah.